you believe in time to sing it down? Brown town.
I always do that as an introduction. Perhaps you could do a better one.
Ah.
No, that's too scary. Right, we're going to try and do this now. We're going to be technically excellent. We can do split screen, and we've got titles and everything. And welcome to podcast number 8. What the fuck? You haven't even done it properly, you tit arse wanker. That's because I was
all that money you spent, Steve.
Podcast number 8, 9th of August 2021, talking to our souls with me, Steve Henn, and Av Singh.
Correct.
That's when you talk. Don't say correct.
Yeah. I am definitely Av Singh. You got that right.
Because it's written down. And if Av wanted to say something really quite poignant, I'd just do this.
Brown town.
There you go. You see, we've got that. And if I wanted to say something poignant, downtown. I think it would be wrong if I said brown town. I don't know why.
Did it cross your mind, though?
I thought, slow down, Steve. Hey, so what's been happening in the news this week? Which is the week, the Olympics, when is it United Kingdom or Disunited Kingdom? Or is it Britain? I don't know what they call it.
Britain.
Well, Britain. No, don't let me. No, Av, man of 1,000 voices. We've done quite well with the medals, haven't we?
Yeah. It's quite shocking, actually. The youngest one was 13-year-old skateboarder. He was born in America, but dad's from the UK, something like that. So bronze.
Well, see, like I did. I think we had a 13 or 14-year-old skateboarder as well. It's all the skateboarders, isn't it?
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. And then we also had. I think the shock was that the young lady who got gold in the taekwondo. She got knocked out in the first round, didn't she?
Oh, not Jade. Is Jade still doing it? I like Jade from Wales. She did it. She did really well when there was in London.
Yeah.
And she was like a ballerina. She was like a ballerina. But then there's a new girl that took a gold last week in taekwondo.
Yeah. But it's taekwondo, and then we had gold in. Was it gold in the diving with the two divers?
Show off. Yeah. I always get gold in my diving, but I know. Yesterday.
No, was it last week? Was it? His name's Tom. His name's Tom.
Oh, Tom Daley. See, now look, I'm a big fan of the Olympics, and I'm a big fan of amateurs having a go in the Olympics, and I'm a big fan of the younger they are and the gold medals they get. I think that's brilliant because it's like just imagine the future. But like Tom Daley, God bless him, he's still young, but like he's like been like a minor celebrity in this country for a while. So I don't know whether or not I feel as generous towards him because he's well off.
Well, I couldn't understand. Was he knitting to draw attention to himself, or was he genuinely someone who knits? You not see that?
I can't believe. Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
He's watching other divers, but at that time he was watching in the stands. He was knitting. He was knitting.
No, like this.
I'm not
just.
Yeah, with 2 knitting needles and wool. But I was trying to work. Yeah, I was trying to work it out. Is he deliberately doing that, or is he actually genuine a keen knitter?
A keen knitter sounds like some sort of food.
Yeah, and then the other thing was, if I was the divers, I'll be annoyed that he'd be knitting and not watching the diving. He should be promoting it, shouldn't he? Oh, this is boring. Let me make a jumper.
Perhaps his mother made him one. You know, my mother made me a homosexual. If I give her the wool, will she make me one too? Like during the lockdown. I mean, is it over? I don't know. But my daughter started doing crochet. And she was like, she'd love it. She'd go, well, she's working from home, so she wouldn't go home. She'd turn off her computer, sit down on the sofa and watch some TV and crochet.
I mean, why wouldn't you? Why with that? I mean, don't you need to have like good weather and make sure that you got the right? Is it like a hammer, isn't it? With the ball.
Yeah, no, not croquet, crochet. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But what I was going to say is like she would avidly watch her box sets and still crochet. So she says because she doesn't have to think. It's like it's more of a relaxing hand thing rather than. I'm sure he was still watching the diving. I'm sure he didn't drop a stitch. Oh, we could talk about that. I don't know, though. I don't know. I feel very... It's like, if I don't know anything, it's really difficult to comment on, like, transgenders in the Olympics, but it caused a bit of a stir.
You know what I think? I think what they should do is just let everyone have steroids.
Yeah, but then we go back to the days of when Russia were winning all the gold medals.
Yeah, well,
2,500.
That's one way of making a level playing field. Can you imagine all the 13-year-old skateboarders on steroids? Oh my god!
Big tree trunks. Yeah, but it wouldn't. No, because like there's some like is it like the floor gymnastics? I used to love the floor gymnastics, and they've got to be very petite to do some of those. But the girl that won the gold medal for the BMX, she left the ramp and span up. So she span round and round, and then landed on all two wheels and not fell off and got a gold medal.
What?
She wouldn't do that if she was built like a tree.
No, but I think she was. I think I was watching the news a few months ago. She tried to do that and she got concussed. So I think it was. Think about it. She came back and actually did it and won the gold medal.
Mm. I heard her being interviewed. I heard. Is she 19 or 17? She's quite young. And like she was being interviewed, and they were saying, "Oh, you got a gold medal, must be really good. You're very proud, very good. BMX gold medal." She said, "Yeah, but I was the only girl to do that triple thing in a competition. I'm the only female to have done that in competition. Don't you forget that." And I thought, fair play, because she was really proud that she did it in competition. The Olympics.
Do you reckon when she did it, Tom Daley was watching and he's just knitting, and went, "Oh!"
So what else has been happening, Av?
We're talking about, is it jabs for the kids?
The younger children. Like 16, 17?
I was a bit confused because I'm sure a few weeks ago they were saying we're not going to give it to anyone below 18. And then this week we're going to offer it to 16, 17-year-olds. I was like,
yeah, but...
I was like,
yeah.
They're always backtracking, aren't they? It's like they'll say something and say, "No, we're not going to do that," and then a few weeks later, yep, we're doing that.
But that's this government, isn't it? Like we're not going to annex Ireland. We're not going to make Ireland different when we leave Brexit. It's all going to be the same. It's like everything they've said, they've just backtracked because he's a populist. He wants to be liked, and I think this is his big problem because nothing has been really concrete and set in stone. The younger people are thinking, well, they said the young don't get it, the young people don't get it, so like why should we bother now? Now we're allowed out. What we're going to nightclubs, we're going to pubs. Why should we bother now?
They've got to have the COVID passport. I'm sure Preeti Patel doesn't like the idea of giving out passports to people. I think someone had to explain it to her. They're not passports as in immigration passports, the COVID passport,
But they're not like a document. It's just if you've got the NHS app, it just says you've been vaccinated. I've got a picture. You've been vaccinated twice, and you just show them. I've been vaccinated twice. I'm a young person. It's not a big deal. You're getting a letter, aren't you?
I've got a letter. I applied for a letter to say that I've had 2 jabs and no kebab. Not happy about that.
2 jabs and no kebab.
Yeah, they're saying for the young people, they're offering kebabs for jabs.
But right, This has really irked me, right? I want as many jabs in as many arms as possible. Full stop. I don't care. I think it's the most important thing. But when they said they're going to pay people that haven't had their jabs money, I said, fuck off. I want money because I had my 2 jabs. But if it's a kebab, I'm having a kebab.
Well, in America, they actually give, was it $100? I think, I'm not 100% sure, but it was a certain amount of money. I think it might be $100 for having your jab. I was thinking, God, I missed out. You could have had.
Oh, sorry, I was just going to say they've got plenty of money. If they can spend £57 billion on a track and trace app, they could have just given everyone $100. $100, 70 quid.
100 quid. I mean, offering like food and delivery. I'm thinking, well, why don't they do this, right? You want a free kebab, right? This is how you save money, Steve. Order your delivery kebab, right? And Abdul, who comes on the scooter, will give you a jab and the kebab. You could save loads of money for that, couldn't you? All right, Mark. Can I go? I give you.
Hold on. Abdul on the scooter. Abdul on his scooter. I've said that. I didn't say that.
Can I just say?
Abdul.
I'm saying Abdul because I actually I had a sandwich delivered to me today, right?
No.
And it was by Abdul. It was by Abdul.
Oh,
but he was in a Suzuki Swift. I just love the idea of just someone from delivery coming up with a bag and a helmet and just jabbing you in the arm at the same time.
Well, yeah. You want to take it back? Do you want to take a bite of your kebab now because it's going in?
Yeah.
See, you're always full of good ideas. I still think your best idea is migrants fishing on the way over. I think that you can't beat that. But Abdul injecting and kebabbing at the same time is a very, very good idea.
It's going to save money, Steve. It's going to save money, yeah.
I'm quite, a lot of people say carrot or stick, but like I'm quite happy with a stick, saying like you can't go to places unless you've been double vaccinated. I've heard some horror stories today, listening to James O'Brien, about people who who were anti-vaxxers and they've been dying because it's like just get the vaccine. But I don't know who they're listening to that are saying it's a bad thing. Facebook.
Well, there's always been anti-vaxxers with the MMR jab, the polio, in the past. So I think
you're back on with your back on your crocheting with your polio.
Yeah, Tom Daley. Yeah, the jab, Tom. What? People have their reasons to say. I mean, for example, MMR. I remember to get separate jabs. Privately used £500 a jab. The charge, yeah.
Wow.
So you could get separate rubella, measles.
Yeah, measles, mumps, and rubella, wasn't it? MMR. Measles,
Yeah, but you can get them separate. They'll charge you £500 a time instead of getting the one that's free. That's all mixed together.
Because there was that they were saying, wasn't it, that separates are better than mixed together.
That's what they said about the EU, Steve. They said we should be separate, not together.
But I think this is what stems. This is where everything comes from. Like we gave people a choice in 2016. We gave people a choice, and now they've got a choice whether to have a vaccine, whether to wear a mask, whether to keep 2 meters distance, whether to fly to Scotland with a close aid and then decide to self-isolate. We've got a choice. And I think, people do have a choice, and fair play to you, but don't come into my theatre if you've not been double jabbed.
What happens if someone comes in and says with a kebab and says, "I've had my jab. Here's my proof. It's a kebab." Abdul just gave it to me.
That's a great catchphrase. Here's me kebab. I've had a jab.
2 kebabs, a double jab.
What was the sandwich you had from Abdul, by the way?
Oh, it's actually it's called. It was in Birmingham. It's called Gup Shop. Really thick Japanese style bread. It's been buttered on the outside and then slapped into a griddle.
Slap it in a griddle. That's what I like.
Yeah, my boss had the same bread, and he griddled. It had loads of butter. You could taste the butter in it, and he had a chicken shawarma in it.
You lost me at kebab.
Chicken shawarma, like chicken kebab meat.
If I'm having a kebab, I'm having the elephant's leg. I'm not having any chicken. I'm not having any chicken.
Yeah,
Never
but anyone in Birmingham, Gop Shop, I enjoyed it.
We're now going to have an advert from the Gop Shop. Do you know what happened today, Av?
What happened?
Because our podcast goes out on something called Anchor, and Anchor are meant to make this podcast go out to all podcast providers, but it hasn't landed in Apple, and it said give it 10 days. I gave it more than 10 days, so I went to Apple myself today, and I filled in all the forms that I had to fill in to make this podcast be available on the Apple App Store, Apple Podcast app. And they've just sent me an email before we started recording today on Monday that we are now on the App Store. So Talking to Our Souls is now on Apple.
So Tim Cook could be listening to this right now while he's knitting.
While he's knitting and having his kebab.
Yeah.
I'm a double jab.
He might have Tom Daley knitting while he's listening to this. Hey, Tom, pay attention. Put your needles down and have a kebab.
You've got something there. You've got something because you've got needles, you've got Tom Daley, you've got kebab, and you've got injections.
Yeah.
We're just going to try and make that funny.
Tom Daley on the back of the Deliveroo scooter in his diving gear. With 2 needles.
You're talking budgie smugglers.
Yeah, budgie smugglers. 2 needles. Jab, jab.
Jab. Now you've brought cycling, swimming, and boxing in it. Jab, jab.
We should take this to Boris. He's had worse ideas and gone with them, I tell you that. One was running for Prime Minister.
Tell me one thing that Boris has got wrong, apart from going on an aeroplane with his closest aide who had COVID and says he wasn't in close contact with him. It's not as if he went on a Boeing 747.
He's all he knows how to do is make babies.
Did we mention it last week?
Did
we mention how many babies he's had?
No one knows.
It's frightening.
No,
can you
probably
imagine
not even
all
him.
the little Johnsons? No, well, yeah. To be fair, he's of course he might not know because he seems to be a person that doesn't know how to keep it in his underpants, as my mother would say. So he could have been like putting. Let's try and make this less. It could be like a farmer spreading his seed in the field, and he doesn't know how many fields he's spread his seed in, so he doesn't know how many flowers are growing. So you're right. There could be another 20 on top of the 8 or 9.
Who knows? It's a mystery.
But in years to come, there'll be 38 little blonde-haired people running around going blah 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 blah.
No, Brexit.
I did my first gig outside as a clown on Wednesday. And it was great. It was so much fun. Everyone I was doing high five, and they'd come up to hit me, and I said, "Don't touch him," which I thought was hilarious. But they all kept calling me Boris.
What?
Because they thought I was a clown.
Oh, okay.
And they're going, Boris. I said, no, I'm not. I'm a professional children's entertainer. I'm not a clown. They said, well, what's the difference? I said, 75 quid.
Yeah, I was talking to one of my other bosses, and he had a family member who went to appointment because she's got cataracts. And he said, well, if you're on the waiting list, it's 3 years.
I bet you didn't see that coming. Keep yourself clean, hands and space. It's still a good message.
I'm not wearing a mask as much now, Steve.
Well, no, I don't suppose anybody is really. They weren't. No one's wearing them in the shop anymore.
I mean, I still wear them in the shops. I got one specially made.
Do you?
Yeah, like made and it's really breathe quite easily through it, no problems. I got it knitted by Tom Daley. Do you hear about Boris and his statement regarding Margaret Thatcher?
Oh, I've got it written down. I'll read it out because I don't want to get this wrong. Thatcher gave the UK a big early start in the fight against climate change when she closed coal mines across the UK. If my name was Andrew Lawrence, that would get a big laugh. It's a good gag. It works as a gag, but the man's the fucking Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
I think I didn't actually see the quote. I mean, if you saw it, I mean, was he being serious? Was he a joke? Was it a joke?
The thing is, he can't joke. He can't joke because you can't joke about letterbox pillar boxes and watermelon smiles. You can't joke. So to joke about the miners, if you're especially if you're a Conservative member of Parliament, you can't really joke about the miners.
Well, you could also say that she was very racist because she thought all the coal miners were black, and she made them unemployed.
You could say that. You could also say, I was thinking this after today, that let's have Thatcher back instead of Johnson. At least you'd know where you were going. You might not like it.
At least your cabinet will be well organised.
Well, I just reckon we've got the very best people in this country, and we've obviously got the best medical regulators, much better than the French have, much better than the Belgians have, much better than the Americans have. That doesn't surprise me at all because we're a much better country than every single one of them.
Jesus.
Someone is at the front door.
I think that's my you carry on talking. I think that's my curry.
Yeah.
We just finished now if you want.
Yeah, grab your food, Steve.
Because, honestly. So that's it. The show is basically about Tom Daley knitting and Avs double jabbing for a kebabbing. So thanks, Bab. See you soon. Ta-da!